Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, we've done a lot of Winnie the Pooh. There is a lot of Winnie the Pooh on Disney Plus, especially. This is the 2011 film. This is about an hour and 8 minutes long, so it's barely a film. I'm not even sure. Did it go into theaters? I honestly don't know. It's an unusual thing because it doesn't go with all the normal cast, except for Jim Cummings, which is obviously always Winnie the Pooh and Tigger. But you get Owl, played by Craig Ferguson. Yeah. And John Cleese from Monty Python is the narrator, and he actually interacts with the characters a lot more than I've seen in previous ones. Maybe that's a common thing with some of the other Winnie the Pooh things, but for me, I don't recall the characters interacting with the narrator so much, and also with the text on the page. So there's a lot of breaking the fourth wall with these characters. It's kind of neat. Bud Lucky, which we know is he plays Eeyore in this, and I think he's done it before. He's got that Eeyore, you know. Maybe maybe some of you might be rolling your eyes like he is Eeyore, but we've had other people play Eeyore, Peter Cullen, Optimus Prime. For most of the ones we've watched so far, Peter Cullen has been Eeyore. But Bud Lucky, he's the one who did Boundin', the Pixar short, and also was their handler for The Incredibles, and he's done so much other stuff. We have Travis Oates as Piglet, Jack Bolter as Christopher Robin. Yeah, there's some actually other actors I don't recognize doing the voices for like Kanga and everything else, and Roo. But yeah, it's a different thing. Oh, Tom Kenny does Rabbit. You know him as SpongeBob SquarePants. So yeah, I mean these. It seemed like a whole new cast to me compared to all the other ones. I watched some older ones, some from maybe 10 years before this 2011 version. So the cast seems to change. What has updated is how some of the animation is done. There's a lot more 3D effects in this that are a lot more smoother than they were 10 years before. It's it looks really good. There's music, there's songs. Zooey Deschanel does the theme, yeah, from you know, New Girl. You know her from New Girl, probably. She's a singer also, but she has her own little band. But yeah, I was listening to the voice. I'm like, who? I know that voice. Who is that? It's Zooey Deschanel. So yeah, this is probably right in the middle of her New Girl reign, or just before it. There's also let's see. Oh, I wanted to make it clear to you before I forget. While this thing is an hour and 8 minutes long, it probably should have been only an hour, because it seems like the credits go on for 10 minutes. It goes on forever, and then there's of course like 5 minutes plus of the foreign language credits. So this is less than an hour long to be the most part, but you need to stay after the credits because a certain character appears after the credits that was important to the story. It's just a sort of little fun little bit. But the person who does the voice is a Los Angeles icon. The character sort of appears in the film, but never really has a voice until the final after credits scene. So yeah, it's his name is Huell Hauser, and you'll want to look him up. Huell Hauser is an LA icon who is known for his out and about kind of interviews with icons and other locations throughout Los Angeles. Just basically, he's a guy who kind of does somewhat of a travel log of what it's like to be in LA. And he's no longer with us, but to hear his voice and also have the character be a little bit Huell Hauser-ish in the sequence was kind of cool. So look up Huell Hauser, and you'll find a bunch of his stuff on YouTube, I think, and you'll probably get a kick out of this man on the street vibe, portraying a character that you wouldn't expect, especially match him with. And it's not, it is a character that only exists in this story. Speaking of story, yeah, it's has all the normal hallmarks of a sweet and gentle Winnie the Pooh story. It's so pure and so, yeah, it's at some point they're missing Eeyore's tail. Eeyore's tail goes missing, and everybody decides they got to hunt it down. And somehow Winnie the Pooh tricks Christopher Robin unintentionally into making the prize for finding Eeyore's tail a jar of honey, and he wants this jar of honey badly. So everybody goes about finding the tail in a different way, but then there's a complication because the note is left by Christopher Robin, because he just sort of disappears at one point and he leaves a note behind, and it is horribly misinterpreted by Owl Craig Ferguson, hilariously and horribly. They seem to think that Christopher Robin's been taken by a creature called the Baxen, even though he just said he'll be back soon. Owl just builds everything up in his own mind and then tells this story about something that doesn't exist, and about how horrible this monster, what it looks like, how it acts, and what it does, and all the evil things it does. And it scares everybody to death, but they all decide that there's different ways to, one, find the tail and also defeat the Baxen. And the guys and gal, they all get their their missions mixed up, and they also get everything. Everything goes awry, as you'd expect. But of course, yeah, I'm not going to give away the ending here at who gets the honey jar. It's not who you think, but yeah, it all works out in the end, as it will, because there's nothing just as, I'm going to say sweet again. It's wholesome. It's wholesome. Yeah, there's never going to be too much distress in the 100 Acre Woods for very long, and if there is, it's usually very, very silly. So, especially when Tigger and Piglet and everybody else is involved. Yeah. So yeah, give it a shot. I mean, honestly, if you're a Winnie the Pooh fan and you haven't seen this one yet, then by all means see it. Otherwise, this will appeal more to little kids, I think. And of course classic fans, but for anybody else who's looking for a rip-roaring adventure, maybe this won't be as exciting, but hey, this is Disney. Try it all out. What do you got to lose except an hour and then about 8 minutes on credits for some reason? I don't know. Anyway, let's pick tomorrow's episode. 186. Oh, other end of the thing. 186. Oh, we already had it. That whole section already. Let's see what it was. 186 was Full Court Miracle. Looks like it. Full Court Miracle. Or Frozen, something like that. It was right on there in the F's. Let's pick another number. Come on. 666. I think we've had this one. I'm pretty sure. But is it evil? Let's just make absolutely sure. Is it the devil? The devil. No, we didn't. We had 664 and 667. But it's a sequel. Even though we have seen the first one. We haven't seen the second one. This is the threequel in a series. And we're going back to Christmas time. It is freaking hot out here in August. But in this case, our hell is Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause. The last of the Tim Allen films, I believe. God knows they'll resurrect that at some point. Probably with a different actor, or he'll hand it down to I don't know. We'll see. But we're going to see another Christmas movie, just like we did with Bryan Cranston a few days ago with 'Twas the Night. But keep him cool with Christmas. The Santa Claus 3 on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow.